Welcome to myprojectbazaar.com. Our product title is Non-Isolated Wide Operation Range 3-port converters with variable structures. Now we are going to discuss about our product abstract. Nowadays the renewable sources such as solar, wind or thermoelectric generators are becoming more and more popular. So we intermediate the natural component for the such as batteries or supercapacitors is matching for the renewable source getting and load connectivity for the separate converters. So we using the non-isolated wide operation range between the mainly for 3-port converters. It is mainly we getting from the input source for the PV panel like solar, and then we getting some high and low voltage fluctuation for the default. Naturally we getting the source voltages, so we can connect an intermediate for the battery storage functions. So when we get the low voltages, it automatically boost the DC voltages. We go into the operator some load connections. Same time we getting the low voltage for the source renewable source we getting from the battery storage. So same time we getting the both connections we connected to the boost of the value. So this is a boost based converters with using the 3-port converters. In the 3-port converters has the 5 management power system for power. So this power system having one type of like one source panel we going to connect to the load and the buck or boost, and same time battery will be getting from the source voltage we going to convert the DC to DC like load connectivity. So both connections we getting from solar panel and battery we getting the source voltage and to destination for the load, and the same time we connect to the battery only we getting from the connectivity for. So this 5 stages for the power management systems will work using the DC to DC buck and boost converters. So when we getting from the high voltage for the renewable source, we are going to store the some DC source in the battery locations. We getting low voltage from the renewable source we getting from the battery locations. So this is the main application for using the 3-port converters with using the pulse width modulations for DC to DC buck and boost for 5-stage power systems recommend the process. Now we are going to discuss about our product flow diagram. In this process mainly we getting from the input DC source initially we are using the renewable source for the input source. So renewable source means such as like solar and wind like that electromagnetic something we getting from the input source. So now we are using for like PV panel like solar panel, and then we getting from the solar input DC source. So the solar panel give the some fluctuation of the voltage. Sometimes will be give the some more voltages, and sometimes it will be give less than the voltages. So we the main objective for the non-isolated process using the 3-port converters. So this is main objective for the 3-port converters using the PWM generations. So this concept we mainly focused for the DC to DC buck and boost process. So when we getting from the input source for like more than voltages, we are going to the buck converters. So using the buck converters process using the MOSFET switches, and the same time when we getting the more voltage we are going to the backup the some store the some battery storage functions. At the same time we going to when we getting from the less than voltages we are going to the DC to DC boost up the voltages. The in the output of the voltage is stable the constant value of the 36 voltages. If you are giving the some 10 voltage, it will be give the 36 output voltage. At same time it will be give the 50 voltages, the same output for the 36 voltage. This is the constant value of the output value. So going to the DC load process. So say this process the 3-port converters mainly focus for the 5 level of the power management systems. So we are getting from the source like power pan solar panel to converters, and then battery to load, and then both communication for like input source for like panel and battery source if you're getting the both type of we getting from the input source. So this type kind of we are getting the 3-port converters using the MOSFET switching conditions. So and the inductor levels and the diode levels we are going to connect this process. So it mainly operate for the switching pulses getting from PWM generations after using the DC to DC boost and back converters, the three based on the 3-port converters. The kind of the section the 36 voltage we are going to store the some battery storage and DC load for the resistor load for some DC load. Now we are going to discuss about our product running procedure. In our process we are going to non-isolated based on 3-port converters. In these 3-port converters we mainly focused for the load and output load and input for the renewable source such a PV panel, and in between using for the battery storage functions. So when we giving some fluctuation of the input voltage like solar PV panel and going to the getting from the battery and going to the for battery sources. So now we are designing this process using the MATLAB 2013 Simulink tool based on this process. So and then we are going to the designing the process. So all components getting from the library Simulink library process. We are getting each and every process components. We are connecting this completely as base paper. So completely designing completed, we are giving the some switching pulses for the MOSFET. So we are giving the PWM based modulations, give switching pulses for the MOSFET. So after complete this process we are going to the run this process. Each and every we are connecting for the scope model. It is on like measurement for current and voltage, buck and boost output for everyone. We are connecting for the scope model. So we getting the scope model. We are each first we are going to connect the this is a switching pulses for the PWM. So on and off functions for the switching pulses for MOSFET. After we go into that input pulses. So this is uh, this is for input pulses for the 100 voltage. So this is high voltage for the renewable source. High 100 voltage is high voltage for our main objective. 20 to 100 voltage we getting the normal fluctuation output constant value for 36 voltages. So we are giving the high voltages for the DC sources. So output will be getting for the 36 like 35.5. So this is the output for the buck converters process. We are getting from the input for 100, output for the 36 point voltages. So after we go into the current voltages, this is the current level, and this is also current level for this process. Oh, this is the current level. So we are using the current level for the output voltages, and we are getting the output voltage. We are going to the connect the DC load, whatever we connected to the load for DC voltages. So if you giving the some 30 voltage out 20 voltage, output will be 36 voltage, and same time high voltage for like 100 to 36. 36 is a constant value of the process. So this is a 3-port of converter based buck and boost converter process. So thank you watching our video.